Welcome, everyone, to Meet the Frogs, where I introduce you to the cast and crew of the Midnight Frogs. Today, I'm joined by Vorhias.
Hey, everybody.
So, I've actually known you the longest out of anyone on the team, since at least a year before the team started. You and I are both former YouTube poopers.
Yes.
What got you into that whole thing?
In retrospect, I have no idea. I started doing it in college. Part of my college requirements was that I had to have a MacBook because I was in the communications program and took, a bunch of film classes while I was there. And, I first saw YouTube poops when I was at college. Just thought, those look pretty interesting. And then it occurred to me, I have iMovie on this thing, and I may have to use it at some point, and those look kind of fun to make. Maybe give that a shot. So I did. And my first few videos were fucking atrocious. I like to think eventually I got halfway competent.
I thought you got pretty good at it. You were one of my favorites for a while. You were one of the guys who got me into doing it.
Oh, thank you.
Why did you eventually stop?
Like most of the projects I never get around to finishing, I probably just got way too busy in real life. I think I pretty much stopped right around the time that I graduated. Because for me, making the YouTube poops just kind of became, just one of those things that you do to stave off boredom in between classes and all that stuff. Because I went to college in Fitchburg, Massachusetts, and there's really nothing there except the college. Also, it's worth mentioning that sometime after, just before I stopped, my MacBook died. That was the primary machine I used to make YouTube poops on. But after that, I tried, doing it in Sony Vegas and some other Windows-based programs, but it never really felt the same for me, and I just kind of lost interest.
You've since moved on to some more vocal things. You you put up a demo, did a lot of things, and then you started the hilarious audio logs of Dr. Squid.
Yes.
How did Dr. Squid come about?
Also, I don't know. More than anything, it was just kind of it just started as just kind of a goofy text format kind of thing. I'd been kind of, I always kind of wanted to turn it into, some kind of other format with, audio and stuff like that, but I cannot animate or anything like that.
The eternal problem of the Midnight Frogs.
Yeah. I actually can't remember how I just sort of came to the conclusion of turning it into, this weird radio play kind of thing, but that's sort of how it all came together. And, I think I was still pursuing professional voice acting as a career, or attempting to do that as a career at the time. I mean, I haven't really ruled that out yet, but, my focus is on other pursuits lately. But anyway, I was still, really focused on that at the time, and I thought that would be a good outlet for me to really try voice acting and stuff.
All right.
Funny thing, I actually already had the Dr. Squid voice in my head before, because I don't know, I'm sure there are other people that do that, but especially in JRPGs, one thing I like to do, if it's one of those games where they don't have voice acting, I like to just voice out the games myself whenever I play them. And for a while I was playing Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door, and I forget the character's name. He's that evil guy that keeps popping up every so often to really annoy Mario and his group and all that sort of stuff. He works for the main big bad. He's got, the goggles and a scarf and stuff like that.
Right. I can't remember the name either.
Yeah.
But I know what you're talking about.
But, I gave him a voice that was sort of a combination between O'Malley from Red vs. Blue and Kevin McDonald's Sizzler Sister character from Kids in the Hall. And it sort of turned into this voice. Except I made it a little more posh. Ravish.
You also write and record electronic music and DJ around Massachusetts under the name Sawtooth.
Yes. The former, yes. The latter, I'm still kind of working on.
Uh-huh.
I'm still trying to, break in with that.
But you do it.
Yeah. And that's really, a lot of my time has really been more devoted to musical pursuits. I think, that's kind of what I really want to do at heart. More music sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Tell us a bit about your music. What got you into making your own music?
Well, I grew up in a very musical household. Both of my parents were former hippies and stuff like that. And as they grew older, my dad, has a huge collection of like jazz music and stuff like that. And when I was growing up, that was pretty much, everything they played pretty much became the soundtrack of my life. I don't think I even listened to terrestrial radio until I was 10 years old or so. And that got me into it. When I was still in middle school, I forget the year, might have been like 2002 or so. By complete chance, I managed to happen upon a copy of Fruity Loops back when it was still called Fruity Loops. Me and my brother would just make little loops and beats and stuff like that, and we just really got a kick out of it. And just, working with that really just sort of got me more and more attuned to, music and stuff. Plus, when I got to college, I started exploring a lot more outlets, like learning more jazz sort of stuff and exploring noise music, that kind of thing. And that kind of shaped my sound over time, as far as stylistically speaking.
Do you have any plans for your older releases that aren't available anymore? Like albums from Raffle Tracks or Futures Past?
They're definitely going to go on Bandcamp at some point. I actually have releases from even earlier than that I don't think I ever even put on the internet, just because I don't think they're very good, especially compared to what I do now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just so the whole thing is there, I'll probably put them on Bandcamp or something like that. One idea I have for a little compilation is like the best of Sawtooth's worst. Because I'm actually kind of embarrassed of a lot of my old material just because of how badly produced it is. There's like a couple tracks in there that, I still kind of like.
I'll have to think about that. I might do something like that myself.
Sure.
Just for the title. I like that.
Yeah.
Also, to plug your band for anyone living in Massachusetts or around there, tell us a bit about Surprise Party.
Okay. I joined Surprise Party in 2011 because I'd been in a couple of different bands, when I was in high school. When I was in high school, I was in a band with a couple of friends of mine, two of whom are my roommates now, and also do voices on Dr. Squid, incidentally.
Huh.
Like, I was in a band in high school called Geology, but I was the only one of the four who ended up going to college. So while I was doing that, they got a new guy to replace me, but I don't know if it worked out or not, because Geology had kind of crumbled by the time I was out of college. I tried joining up with another band while I was in college, but for some reason, I couldn't get anyone's attention. I mean, you'd think, college would be the place to, start a band or anything like that, but I just couldn't get it done. By the time I was out of college, I was just really desperate to start playing music again. So I answered an ad in a Daddy's Junkie Music, which is a franchise of... It's a musical instrument seller place from around New England that, unfortunately, is not with us anymore. R.I.P.
Oh.
So I answered an ad there and just sort of met up with the three other guys in Surprise Party who I guess had been playing, long before I answered their ad, but they weren't happy with their drummer because he was too technical. And it just sort of worked out from there. We're kind of whenever people ask us how Surprise Party sounds, my standard response is think of really fuzzy 90s bands like Sonic Youth, Dinosaur Jr., or Pavement. That's kind of what the sound is.
Okay. Because I've only heard a couple of things. I think there was a demo or something you guys put up.
We haven't gotten very far into recording or something like that. That's sort of a goal of ours, to finally record a better demo, but we just haven't been able to focus on it because all four of us have very different schedules. We're actually playing a show in Playstyle later tonight.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
For anyone around there.
Yeah.
Because I'll try to have the video up by then.
Fun coincidence. I'm actually in a couple other groups, but they're not really as fully formed as Surprise Party anymore. But at this point, Surprise Party is my main thing as far as, live music.
Uh-huh. So, your background with the Midnight Frogs, you are actually the one person in the world who could leave a comment offering to voice in anything that we're doing, and I would actually take you up on it. So you offered to voice in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Abridged when I put up the promo for it, I think this was May 2010, and we just so happened to need a Pikachu at the time. One more Pokemon one-shot with you as Pikachu again, a couple other guest spots showing up on the podcasts, and here you are on the team.
Yeah. I kind of wish I could go back and re-record all the Pikachu lines I did. Because, in the first one, I wasn't very good at voice acting then, and the second one, I hadn't figured out my equipment yet, which is why it sounds like I'm underwater most of the time.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah,
It'll come up later. But what's been your overall experience being a part of the team?
I like it. It's good.
I mean, you're not involved in as much as some of the others, but we try to get you involved where we can.
I'd definitely be interested in being more involved. I just need someone to just kind of, pitch an idea to me or something like that. As it is right now, it definitely feels like you and Big T Unit are the main sort of brain trust of the group. So,
Yeah,
the final authority, as it were.
at this point, yeah. But we do have another project coming up. Right now, it's kind of like my last project with Yoshi.
Oh, yeah? The Digimon thing?
No, we are remaking Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Abridged.
Oh, awesome.
And since Yoshi and I aren't writing together anymore, it's going to kind of like... It was our first project, just him and me. So that's just wrapping everything up with us. So do you relish the thought that you might be voicing Pikachu again in the near future?
I relish the thought of doing it correctly this time. Which is to say, not like my head stuck in a block of cement while I'm doing it.
All right, so what are some of your plans and ambitions for the future, if music isn't completely it?
So far, mostly music, but other than that, I'm not really sure, because more than anything, like, I'm focused on sorting out all sorts of stuff in the real world that's been going on. I won't get into it, because it's kind of boring. Hopefully, I'm gonna finally hunker down and bring back more Dr. Squid episodes. I want to write more episodes and get them produced and stuff, but in the end, I am just a terrible person. I am terrible at keeping to my own schedules. I am terrible at, keeping to my own goals. That's always kind of been, like, my big weakness, I've found.
And to close, is there anything you'd like to say to the viewers and fans?
Nah. Go drink some tea.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.